What do you hear? What do you say? Today we're reviewing My Summer Car, created by one glorious man, Topless Gun. My Summer Car is the best mental illness game by far. Not only did this game put me on the suicide watch list, it also put me on the terror watch list. The mental illness you are suffering from is called being Finnish, and is actually a rare case of country dysphoria. So you're actually living as a Russian inside a Scandinavian's body. The game takes place in 1995, in the middle of the Finnish Depression. The quality and cost of the Finnish sausage has gotten so bad, the government might have to import something else to satisfy the needs of the populace. Or perhaps you could import the German variety. Though not as all bad. Since this takes place in the 90s, you have watched the first black president get elected and being sworn in, Bill Clinton. Remember, it's the 90s, there is no Bobby Kotick, and the breast milk at Blizzard is categorized as safe. The game starts off with you in a summer home, only having the Finnish necessities: a sauna, a poorly stocked fridge, a full case of beer, and one broken shitbox. You'll have to put the car together piece by piece, tightening it bolt by bolt, dropping the engine in, connecting the radiator to it, wiring everything, and adding all fluids. After 3 rebuilds and a semi-bruise monitor, don't worry, I use an open hand, which means it came from a place of love, not hate. I was ready to start the car, and I watched it travel a solid 3 inches before stalling. It is here you realize that this is not some North American car that you can connect your life to, as it sells your data to the Chinese. Safety features? Crumple zone? Yeah, it's called your legs. This is a rare Finnish feline, and it needs to be tuned to the exact specifications of the first Reddit post I saw. The Satsuma should be like a perfect wife, does what you want without much noise, needs a hand tool to feel satisfied, and has a chance to murder you. That's why I pick up my women straight from the mental hospital. That way, it gives me plausible deniability that you can't be the reason why she went crazy and went to therapy, as she was already in it before I dated her. Don't worry, all these parts are in horrible condition, so eventually a piston will break the record of the North Korean space program, so you will have to do all this rebuild over again in a field. It is here that I had my first mental break, one of many, and I wondered, why am I playing this game? Why am I subjecting myself to this? I'll tell you why. Because I love it. This can be avoided though, as you can either repair all the broken parts or buy new ones. Like most things in My Summer Car, it requires those sweet marks, though you only start with a measly 3,000 and a little extra from a birthday gift. You will be limited on the types of jobs you're able to take based from your vehicle choices. In the beginning of the game, you'll only be able to really chop firewood, deliver food to grandma, or attempt the hay bale mission. The hay bale mission has the added bonus of allowing you to unlock the game's hidden boss battle, the game's physics engine. You really don't make any money doing this mission, you just trade inches of your hairline for My Summer Car money. After a while, the uncle will invite you over and tell you he can't work anymore due to an elaborate government conspiracy. He got caught speeding and lost his license. Though technically he was never working because he is ANCAP and does not pay taxes. Now he plans to sit on his ass and collecting unemployment checks from the government. After this, you'll find your uncle partaking in one of the most oldest Finnish traditions known to man, drinking so you don't remember you live in a depressing shithole. Though, just like in real life, other people's misfortune is good for you, because he gives you the ban and the yifu, which unlocks even more jobs you can complete. Like, did you know that Finnish people actually have tubs of Genshin Impact underneath their houses, and they actually pay you to remove it? But that's the boys' way to make money. Let's move on how the men make money. Upon creating a new game, don't bother buying useless things like food or anything else like that. Hop into your boat, drive straight ahead to the underground blackjack spot where you will either lose your car and house, or he will lose his car and house and kill himself. There is no compromises. Then head into town, buy some lottery tickets, play the slot machine, and buy 6 sugar bags in 1 yeast. Then you will be able to sell your homemade booze to the town drunk Yoko. Once you get the Gifu, head into town and break into the pub and steal the slot machine and break it open. During the nights, you may get a call from Yoko to drive home from the pub. Always do these jobs. Do this enough times and he'll start to trust you and tell you about his life, like his crippling addiction to alcohol, his failing marriage that his wife is leaving him for a Finn Swede man, and that he took his wife's winning lottery ticket before she got home, collected the earnings, and hid it from her. A true Finnish man, huva. Though he lives an extremely sad life, and you are probably his only friend and the only thing he looks forward to when waking up. So immediately upon learning about this, find his lottery winnings and steal it. He will then try to murder you. After that fails, he decides to take his rage and channel it into a more productive hobby and starts the town's first bungee jumping team. With all that money, you should be able to upgrade the Satsuma to your heart's content. I went for, I really don't want that guy to park beside me. Now that you have the whip and the riches, there is one last thing you need to get, the bitches. First, you must set the standards. I like to follow the Cobra JFS standard.
Cobra, what's your ideal woman? Well, first of all, of age, alive, cisgendered, consenting, non-related.
Now that we have our standards set, we need to filter out the women who are ready to date and who aren't. The easiest way to do that is go after the women who already have boyfriends. The next step is making her single. It's easy. Just step on the gas, and the boyfriend will eventually want to race with you. Eventually he will turn into Paul Walker, and now you can drag her lifeless body out of the home to rest. You may be asking yourself, why would she date you? You're the reason why the love of her life is now a tree. Women hate when you use this one trick, gaslighting. What? Me be the reason why her boyfriend is now eating tree, and she is in critical condition? Are you okay? I'm the one who heroically saved you. You're getting very defensive, and you're remembering it wrong. You must have been distracting him, and you caused the accident. After you take her home to rest, she'll now become dateable. But she can only be picked up in the Satsuma or the repair shop car. Apparently the ladies don't like it when you pick them up with a sewage truck. You will need to make sure the Satsuma is well equipped and make sure you have the leopard dash. Remember, this is the 90s, where boobs are greater than butts. It's not ideal, but it's what we're dealing with. So don't get the bucket seats. She won't have the facilities for it and get mad. And she likes it black. No, not that way. Just blacked out windows. And she's a classy lady. She likes to drink and drive, so make sure there's a case of beer for her. There is so much to do and explore, and you should never be bored. But here are some of my favorite things to do. Create mustard gas. Dump sewage in the water. Dump sewage after failing an inspection. Human traffic, and best of all, dying. There's a lot of ways to die in My Summer Car, but here are my favorite. Rating the quality of Finnish television. Picking up a phone call from Perkele. And going to Finland's natural mud spring. In order to survive the harsh realities of Finland, you will need to pay attention to the status bars present on the screen. Stress is a very easy one to get down. It's also an easy one to forget and just die from it. Just ensure you start your day with a good hearty Finnish breakfast to lower stress. Thirst is your biggest culprit, as it fills up the fastest. There isn't enough taps around the map to keep your thirst down, so I highly recommend you having a case of beer in every vehicle. If you don't hear bottles clanging around while you're driving, you're not really playing the game. You may say, isn't this drinking and driving? And I would say, please don't use those bigoted terms. We prefer the term beverage drivers. Some people like the occasional road rocket while going home. 85% of accidents happen from the so-called sober drivers. So just because you have an opinion of one person doesn't mean the whole group is like that. As you drink, your urine will build up and you'll need to expel it or die from bladder poisoning. You can pretty much piss anywhere except while driving. And you should piss on everyone. Timo, your uncle, but never grandma. A man has to have a code. Though I have to list my very best negative about this game. Sadly, this game discriminates against one of the most marginalized and discriminative community, sink pissers. Just look at this perfect stream, right into the sink, perfect arch, and yet what happens? The game brands you as a sink pisser. Okay, maybe a couple of drops get into the sink or onto the floor, but this big of a puddle? Fuck no. The game brands you and shames the proud members of our community as unhygienic slobs that permanently live in piss-stained floors. And without mods, there is no fix. Just look how much water our community has saved. Just look at these statistics. It's like the old saying goes, you can build 1,000 houses Are you a house builder? No. You can install 1,000 feet of plumbing. Are you a plumber? No. You suck one dick and you're a cocksucker for life. All the other bars should be self-explanatory. Just wash your ass, sleep, and don't be broke. Most things in My Summer Car you can get away with a fine, though some actions result in jail time. It seems in Finland you actually don't have the right to a peaceful protest, as I just wanted to peacefully protest the unjust treatment of my uncle by law enforcement by driving my tractor into a crowd of people on rally day. After committing the so-called crime, when you reload or sleep, the fine men of the Finnish police force will be waiting for you. Jail sucks in My Summer Car. I thought jails in Scandinavia were supposed to be fun. I expected at least an N64 with a copy man of Superman 64. A strict but fair punishment, but no, I was greeted by a shitty boombox, TV meal, and a bed. And if you're sleeping when it's dinner and you will miss it, you'll starve and die. Or you'll dehydrate and die. The prison staff will let you die. If you die in prison, you don't just respawn like normal. Not even death will allow you to escape the Finnish justice system. After serving your time, you'll be dropped off in town with your choices to get home. A. Walk home. B. Take the bus home. The bus can be either empty or have one of two passengers, a very nice old woman or a really weird-looking man that seems to have a degradation kink as he starts chronically masturbating when I flip him off. Or you can hitchhike home. The game doesn't give you any sort of mini-map or have a map keybind. Instead, it has a map be a poster on the wall in your home, and you'll eventually just have to learn the map, memorizing all the hills, twists, turns, good parts of the road, and bad. Essentially, it's just one big rally loop, and you will find yourself spending most of your time in the town or the repair shop. In the town, you will find the pub and the general store combo, where you can buy all your food, some small car parts, and place orders through the mail. Timo is Finland's hardest worker. He works 12 days an hour, and works every day except Sundays, not because it's the Lord's Day. See, God turns a blind eye on what goes on in Finland. Sunday is rally day. Not only is he the hardest worker, he's also the shining example of what perfect customer service. You can swear at him, piss on him, empty human waste in his shop, steal his slot machine, and he will serve you. Just don't break his window, or it will be just under 3,000 marks to fix it. You can even kill him, drag his mangled body into your van, and drive it into the bottom of the lake where no one will ever look, and he still comes to work the next day, ready to serve the populace. While traveling from locations, you will have to watch out for Finland's natural predators. No animals really, just Finnish drivers. The biggest offender is Mr. Hitler, aka Penis Penna. He only travels on dirt roads, and he will either kill you, or you kill him and spend 5 days in jail. And he responds with a smile on his face, ready to do it again. There's a sizable modding community. The majority of the mods are good quality of life improvements like expanded shop, more cupboard space, backpack mod, or add different cars like the BMW. Just great additions to the game that don't compromise the game's original feeling of wanting to put your testicles in a fruit blender. Then there's the minimap mod. The minimap mod is the lowest of the low. You are worse than the waifu car people and the anime body pillow. If you see anyone using this, I highly recommend, no, I require you to fake a relationship with them, become their friend, find out where they live, and finally, you allow them to enjoy the pleasure of having horse cum sent directly to their mailbox every single day. And you can live and die saying you made the world a better place. Sometimes this game feels like it was just made for me. Like I had a topless gun trapped in a cage, threw him a coding course, gave him a laptop, and I barked instructions, and he made the perfect game for me. This game is like having a boyfriend who beats you, and for some reason you keep on coming back time and time again. Actually, I know the reason. It feels good, and you like it. This game has transcended my game rating scale and is better than perfect. I have a new ranking. Finland.